Let me just retweet that, and we should be live here.
Yeah, looks like we're live on my
I don't know
screen.
why it always shows other people live before me, and I'm the channel that's hosting it. All right, that's muted. All
I
right.
can hear us. Yeah, so we're on about
Okay,
10
cool.
seconds.
So I had to dive into the closet and find my biggest meme shirt that I could with just fire and emojis and everything, because I truly believe this is. I always prepare for Wreckfest, but I 100% believe that this is the worst Daytona field I think I've ever seen in terms of like the lack of experience. Like all the guys that we trust are starting in the back. So like, Kligerman, Sauter, Crafton, who nearly always gets involved in a wreck, but he's going to have a strong car here. Ben Rhodes is a favorite to win. So we're going to have those guys who should contend for the lead at some point in this race, all starting from the back. So they have to go through the field. We have a lot of cars that overqualified that shouldn't be up in the front of the field early. And I think this is going to be a mess. I really do. Like, I fully believe these guys are going to just tear stuff up.
There's a lot there to unpack, but let's just start with the idea that, let me just do a couple things. One, why do we trust Parker Kligerman so much? Just because he's on NBC and he does iRacing? But there's no reason that the data doesn't support that Parker Kligerman's this lock, or, it says the opposite. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't been in a truck that much. Sauter, we know that he's a mess. And the truck, I guess, was kind of fast in practice, but we'll see what that is. Ben Rhodes won one plate race. I don't know if I can necessarily trust Ben Rhodes. And so if I can't trust the locks in the back, I definitely can't trust the guys up front. So, yeah, altogether, yeah, it's a mess.
I think I'm like, I mean, you just shot down, all the guys in the back who are the experienced drivers here. I mean, we're not playing guys up front. I do like Enfinger to win this event. I think he can win it. I'm not going to play him. But outside of like 8 guys who actually have talent, everybody here is.
But talent doesn't mean anything in this race, does it?
Talent at least means we're not gonna turn people. Hell, last night Logano just self-spun himself, and he has a ton of talent.
Like I said, does talent mean anything? My worry is that people think they have talent, and they do things like Logano has done this year, or like Logano did in last year's Daytona 500, or like Brad Keselowski. I love how last night, Brad Keselowski is one of the best blockers. I about fell out of my seat. He's the same guy's like blocking's bad. Blocking is he's notorious for blocking. He's not a good blocker. He's wrecked himself 100 times. Like, just the act of blocking is a stupid move. But whatever. The guys that think that they can do things get themselves into trouble. I almost would rather roster people who aren't going to do anything dumb, who are probably scared, like a Chandler Smith almost. Although he's probably got a ridiculous amount of confidence now, and which
is not good. You don't want to have Chandler Smith having a ton of confidence. Same thing with like Eckes. I think Hill's the one guy.
This guy's got this win. It's the Stenhouse effect. They get a win, and all of a sudden they think they're Superman. Wherever they've got that checked off. I imagine we're gonna see that with Daniel Hemrick this season. Now he's gonna go nuts, and it might work out for him. I think for Hemrick it could go the other way, where now he's got the monkey off his back or off his shoulder, he can finally relax and he's gonna start winning races. But I can see other drivers feel like they can get away with crap. And this is not the race where you get away with crap. And they're going to tear. I would not be surprised to see Deegan and some of these surprise drivers who've really struggled over the last seasons come away with top 10s.
So
Decker's not in it, unfortunately, but this is this would be the Decker race.
Yeah. So I posted my ownerships when I was like 13 lines in earlier, and I was, the people that I like are people like Deegan, obviously, Danny Bone, Jason White, guys like that, but Deegan was really clicking off for me, which is so. Deegan for me Deegan either finishes top 8 for me or Rex. Tanner Gray is going to finish top 8 or wreck. Derek Krause is going to finish top 4 or wreck. And so at least with them, I know where to project them if they don't wreck. Whereas Like Ben Rhodes, you know, everybody, like even from Matt DiBenedetto back, is either going to finish 8th or get involved in the wreck.
Well, that's everybody everywhere. So we're imagining chaos. So everyone's going to wreck. So we'll probably have 8-10 trucks on the lead lap at the end. So yeah, if you don't wreck, you're going to get at least 8th. And in the way these trucks race, you have a chance for that mad dash, which I talk about in the video. I think I talked about a couple of videos in the Xfinity series. There's a disparity between equipment where it's really hard to make that move at the end. If Bailey Curry survives to the end tomorrow, he's not going to rush the front. But with the drag and the downforce in these trucks and the way that the pushes work, you can be a nobody and really slingshot up to the front. But so, yeah, I think it's 8th and then a bunch of wreckers and just picking who doesn't wreck. And who was it that you mentioned? I was kind of surprised. You like Jason White. Tell me about Jason White.
Yeah, nobody's going to play him. I mean, this is purely, I like Timmy Hill. I hope people are getting scared off him because he had to change that motor. I have no worries about him not making the race. But I love Hill. Thad Moffitt is interesting because every ARCA race he's ever in on a plate race, he's involved in a wreck. He's just involved in the wrecks. He doesn't make the mistakes, but he's caught up in every wreck. And going into this week, I was like, Thad Moffitt's going to get wrecked. There's no way he doesn't get wrecked. And he's starting 34th. And as long as he wrecks,
he's got racing in his blood.
What?
He's got racing in his blood. He's Richard Petty's grandson?
Yeah.
Great-grandson?
Yeah.
Hadn't really worked out for him, has it? Well,
No,
I think Richard spent all the money. There's nothing left for poor Thad. So, as we can see, he's in he got at least got a niece truck. But man, these things.
Yeah, I mean, the truck looks cool, but would he be here if he was not related to Petty at all? No.
China Grove, North Carolina, I believe, is where niece is. I used to live up the road from China Grove.
I know.
Got my license in China Grove once upon a time. No, I went to get it. Anyway, that's not the story. All right. Let's see. What are the questions?
Ironically enough, I did cave and buy some Keystone shirts last night.
I am 0 Keystones in. I'm drinking coffee. Sorry to disappoint, guys.
Let's see. Yeah, you brought this up earlier that these contests are absolutely tiny. And this is the only sport going on.
The truck didn't fill up, did it? That thing wasn't even close.
The truck one, really? It's 13.6 right now out of 14.7.
Also, it is filling up pretty quick.
Well,
there's nothing else on. This is it. And even tomorrow, it's All-Star Weekend crap versus they should have built their contests. I was able to convince them to put some more content. Like, well, what else are we going to do? What other questions have we got?
Let's see. I saw this one earlier. I don't know about RotoWire, but we do have an MME tool in the package on Patreon. That's what I use.
It works. Look, it's not Fantasy Cruncher, but all that stuff costs extra. Now all that stuff adds up. But, it's for other people to decide what they want to do. If they pay for a month and then say, "Nah, this sucks," it's cool. You can do that. You're more than welcome to. You just want to run through these guys real quick, and then we'll.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just have some sort of structure.
So I take it you're entering like 3 lineups now.
Yeah,
something small.
I'm not doing anything heavy.
So who's the one guy that you like inside the top 25?
Top 25?
Yeah, in the top 25.
Starting inside the top 25. How about Matt DiBenedetto? Why not? Let's play a little narrative street. Why not? He's going to try to win.
So I got quite a bit of DiBenedetto as well.
They've got to have some funding for it. That Rackley War team wasn't terrible. I think Timothy Peters was definitely holding them back. When they got Byron and had Barry occasionally jump in that truck when it didn't fail, you saw some speed inside it. The crew chief is Chad Kendrick. I can't remember. This guy's been around for a while, so he knows what he's doing. And DiBenedetto has been a good plate racer. I think he'll. Yeah, why not DiBenedetto?
Yeah,
If
so
we're
this
trying
is
to get
where,
survival, right?
yet again, I think the Benedetto goes out there. I think he races. He's going to race it like the Cup Series. He's going to be up there. If he's involved in a wreck, it's because he causes the wreck.
Which I would rather, because a lot of times we see, and again, the Stenhouse effect, the guys that are causing these wrecks, a lot of times aren't getting the worst of it.
Yeah.
So I think it was like a Daytona race years ago where Stenhouse just wrecked everybody, and he was involved in everything, and yet he still came away with the top 10.
Yeah.
If that's the case for De Benedetto, I know you're overpaying for a top 10, but it doesn't matter. You got plenty of money left over on the table. I think the optimizer left $1,000 left over, and that's just stacking in the back, which is probably going to be popular, right? People will take Rhodes, they'll take Crafton, and the whole crew in the back. Maybe they'll stay away from Timmy Hill. I don't know. What specific details do you have on Timmy Hill's issue? You think he's going to be fine?
Well, they
What exactly
went
down with the engine?
The engine was horrible, and they've changed the entire motor. It's been propped on the jack stand since qualifying. I'm not worried about them not being able to change it. He has the MBM crew there. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, and they're just Elmore engines, right? So it shouldn't really be like that big of a deal, but he was slow in practice. If you care about that, but he probably went out. I would have to look. Did he run solo laps?
I don't know, but we also need to remember that Timmy Hill is full-time in the Truck Series this year for his team. This is the one he declared points for, and he ran great last year, part-time, especially on the speedways of just staying out of the wrecks. That's the main reason why I like Hill, because I know he's not going to race. He's just there to get points.
But Tyler Hill finished second last year at Talladega in this truck.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine it's the same truck.
Yeah. And Tyler Hill.
How many chassis do they probably have?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely the same truck. It sucks that, hey, maybe you run more than one lap in practice next time, Tim Hill.
Yeah.
What are you doing? But I don't know. That's a worry. But if everyone else is going to stay away, I don't know if people are going to stay away. How much research do you think people are really doing? Like, engines. They're going to see him starting in the back. Like, I know Timmy Hill. He's cheap. I bet his ownership's going to still be pretty high. Maybe I'd just rather play somebody else.
I think ownership circles around Ben Rhodes, Kligerman, and Crafton. I think they're the most popular there. And then maybe Sauter.
Yeah, why not Sauter?
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm playing Sauter, but I think he has a chance to be a top 5 in ownership, which is fine. I really don't.
How many races is Sauter run? Is he doing full season with this team?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. It doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah. Johnny might try and kill someone today. That's funny. I can't imagine being frustrated Sauter. Like, imagine running ThorSport trucks that constantly ran into issues. Then you finally get another ride, and you're the slowest. One of the slowest.
He was
trucks.
fine in practice, though. If you looked at his practice speeds.
So I think the practice speeds. I think that they're inflated because we did have the 2 yellows, and after that, it was just pack racing in the practice session. There was
he ran outside of the pack and was fine. I was watching him run solo laps, and his speeds were fine, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm not really worried about the truck, to be completely honest. I mean, like, seriously, look at some of the finishing. Look at the trucks that have finished inside the top 10 in previous plate races that were garbage. He'll be fine. Yeah, so all the ownership's going to go on these guys in the very back. So maybe you push a little closer to the top 20. Like, what about Zane Smith?
So I like Zane Smith a lot. When we talk about people inside the top 20 that I've mainly focused in on Zane Smith, De Benedetto. I've taken in, so I have ownership to every person inside the top or behind 14th outside of Spencer Boyd, but I have everybody else in the lineup. But I like Zane Smith a lot. I like De Benedetto a lot. If I'm playing guys inside, I have some Blaine Perkins. I don't think he'll be owned at all. Starting 19th. Same thing with Howard. I just hate that they're starting 19th and 18th.
Well, if I'm just running the numbers in my head, and we're saying at least half the field wrecks out, I think we agree there. It could be even more than that. So, I mean, it's one way to look at it. Okay, well, half of the drivers from 20th to 36th are going to wreck out, right? Which then leaves, there's more than 6 drivers back there.
Yeah.
So, like, if half wreck out, fine. And we'll just say half of them are from the back. Okay, well, there's still another half from the back. And I just can't find a reason to roster anyone inside the top 20. I mean, it could work, right? You get like a 5-1, one guy wins the race, leads a bunch of laps, gets a couple place differential, and is in there. But then drivers, the next 6 drivers still are from guys from the back. If you look at the top 10 DFS wise at the end of this race, how many do you think are starting 20th or further back?
I think it's all 6. I really do.
No. How about 10? Let's just look at how about top 10? 7, 8.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So then just burn your picks on people in the back. And even if you do, and then the cash option if you want to play it safe, because if you take one of the guys up front and they wreck, then you're toast. But if you take one of the guys in the back and they wreck, it doesn't hurt as much. So at the very least, you are getting yourself into a better place to cash at the end of the day. So I just cannot see a reason unless you're. Is there anyone calling your name inside the top 20?
Calling my name?
Let's say I gotta roster this guy.
Maybe Hocevar.
But he's just barely on the other. He's 22nd. I'm talking 20th inside the top 20.
Oh yeah. No, because I have one lineup with.
Do you want anything to do with anyone in the top 10?
No, not at all. I'm not playing.
Not at all. And I don't even trust these guys either. Although I will mention Jesse Little to win is I think people should look at that bet. He has the worst odds. It's like 200 to 1. And he's in a Young Motorsports truck. And Young has won 2 of the last 3 at Talladega. If you are betting, Jesse Little is a good bet. And I don't want to say it's a good bet. But if it's chaos, anyone's got a chance, and he's in a truck that's had experience, that Lawless Allen, again, Nice, he's at 150. There's a couple sportsbook odds that I think, I don't know if they're still there, but were very interesting. But that little one definitely stood out to me as a mistake by the book. All right, yeah, so we're just taking guys in the back then.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where I'm at.
What are the questions? Well, someone said Infinger. Yeah, but I mean, Infinger could be a great play until he wrecks at the end, Grant Infinger could wreck at the end of the race. I got to work on my Grant Infinger impression, but I don't know. Yeah, he's a good plate racer, and the stats back it up, but Brad Keselowski's a good plate racer, and then he went like 5 years, couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Who knows? I feel like they're going to wreck a lot. So even if he is good, he still has to avoid all the chaos.
Yeah, I always go in 1 in for X, but I have just never felt the amount of like carnage that's going to happen in this race. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if we have 4 yellows before.
But was it last year they wrecked on lap 1?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even think everybody across the green got taking the green flag.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a video. It's like, here's all the cautions and they just.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's why I love this.
Well, the other thing to think about is giving these guys practice. One of the consequences of that is they might be more comfortable than in previous seasons where they didn't get a practice. And so they're all a little even though I don't think they were timid in the past, but maybe they were a little reluctant to push it. Well, now they're like, oh, I'm ready. I'm good to go. No, you're not. And even with the practice, a lot of them didn't really turn a lot of laps. Yeah, it's pretty dicey out there.
And when Holmes blew the tire, I don't know what he ran over, but I just imagine like something like that happening in this race as well. Just somebody blowing a tire and taking a chunk of the field out.
Well, it didn't even look like they were taking very good evasive measures either. When you were seeing the cars, like kind of I think one of the guys ran right into it. Like, what are you doing? Slow down. Move out of the way. What are you? Clowns.
Or when the guy he broke the track bar on the tri-oval. I mean, obviously they had the pack like join them, but some of the guys got out of line and didn't slow down. Like,
can't wait for this ARCA race tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be a mess. All right, what do we got question wise?
I truly believe like holding on to the lead lap is not an issue for White
There's
in a
so
sense.
many
Like
ways
I think there's gonna be
around.
so many yellows that you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Like it'll all equalize in the end. You'll get enough wave rounds and lucky dogs to get back onto the lead lap,
Mhm.
and you'll be fine. I would say. If they lose the lead lap early, it's because they know what they're doing, and it's not a mechanical failure. I wouldn't think. And we've seen a Rayum truck in the top 6 recently, didn't we? Was it last year? Rayum got a. Let me see. Was it 2020? 2020 or was it 2000? I don't know. There's a Rayum truck in here somewhere.
Well, you get
2019 Daytona, Rayum ended up in there along with Rook and Bobby Gerhart. White got in here last year, but I don't know if White was racing for Rayum.
Yeah, he was in the 33.
All right, so White did it in 2020. I mean, last year, who would be some of the Keith McGee started 38th. He got in the optimal lineup. Yeah, I think you're fine. Just pick the trucks that don't wreck. Good luck with that. Or, well, to review, we can go back over the numbers that have been hitting the most. This is probably actually pretty useful. So if people are using spreadsheet, the numbers that hit the most, it's 20th back. So 4 times, the car starting 20th has been optimal. 21st, 4 times. 22nd, 3 times. 23rd, 4. 24, 4. 25, 4. 26, 2. 27, 4. The 28th spot has hit 6 times. Who's in the 28th spot?
That is Danny
Bone.
Bone.
Some people are like, this is ridiculous. You can't just make picks like that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can use the randomizer. You can use the number generator. I'm telling you, it's not that crazy to do that. To guide it, like, I'll get the tarot cards out here in a little bit. And
no.
Get the D20 out. Who cares? Why not? I might build lineups that way. 30 car has hit 4 times. The 31 car has hit 5 times. Now, remember, like some of these races, they only cover 32 car fields. The 31 has hit 5 times. It's Parker Kligerman. Yeah. It's just hard to deny what the data show, and that's you got to play guys in the back. And then if we were to look at the top 6 over the last 12 races, the average starting position is like 22nd, and the average finish is 5th. So 20-ish, slightly behind that is where I would – and I would actually bump that back because this is a 36-car field as opposed to the normal 32-car field. So around 25th is definitely just take those guys blindly, right? Maybe don't look at the names. Don't think about too much, and maybe you can differentiate. Pick Fogelman. Maybe he'll wreck.
Yeah, I think Fogelman's a good play too. I wanted to bring this up with Chad because I think he's fallen for at least for the truck series, because manufacturers don't exist in the truck series. They're all run the same engine.
Yeah.
There's manufacturers don't get.
Toyota
isn't running a Toyota motor in this. All these are made by Elmore, so manufacturers do not exist in the truck series.
KBM was doing their own engines. Are they still doing that, or do they ultimately have to?
They had to move over.
TRD was
but even you can mess with the motors, but they're all supplied. Like they're not.
Yeah, you can tweak them. And yeah, that's like Thor that year in the playoffs. Thor was kind of notorious for this. Like they were always blaming Elmore, and then 3 of their trucks would fail. Like, maybe it was something that you guys were doing that everybody else wasn't doing. Is that a possibility? It's these damn Elmore engines. Okay. The teams don't even work together. So if the teams don't work together, I don't see the manufacturers work there. Because in a lot of cases, like the teams don't work together. Most of these people that are on teams are like one-offs, or they've only been with the team for a year. Like GMS changes seats every 5 seconds. Thor is all of a sudden has a rotating door. KBM has a rotating door. Like, if any team's going to work together, it would be Kyle Busch Motorsports, because basically Kyle Busch is going to put a gun to their head and said, "You're going to do what I say." But even then, like, you need all three of them to be there together at the end. So, actually, that reminds me. Remember, what was it, Richmond last year, where Kyle Busch was like lead all the laps in the stage? And then on the last lap, well, it wasn't Richmond. It was
Atlanta.
And then it was like, all right, let me just hit the brakes and let John Hunter Nemechek win the stage. He did it twice.
Yeah.
Man, that was classic Kyle Busch right there.
And then
what an embarrassment that was. And they tried to cover it up. Waltrip did his best, and the was like, I can't lie anymore.
He's like, Kyle Busch is just in control. I don't know why people hate Kyle Busch. Like, everybody's so glad he's not in the Xfinity series, to where I'm just entertained playing him each week. The optimizer's in the folder. The link on racefortheprize.com is it's not there anymore, but it's in the folder, because I just added you, Chaos, because you just upgraded your little plan.
There's a Google Excel up there. I don't think you can download it into the. I don't know what OpenSolver's situation is with Google Chrome. I haven't looked into it in a while. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you can add it. I don't know. But if not, there's a Microsoft Excel version for the old optimizer. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's just, all right. So we're not playing anybody top 10. Anybody between 10th and 19th that you are slightly considering? Lawless Allen? No. Maybe bet him. Jack Wood? No. Chris Wright? No. Austin Hill's interesting. Give me a second on Austin Hill. What do you think?
I can't do Austin Hill. There's two guys in the top 16 that I would actually target if I wasn't, because like I said, I have everybody from 15th on back in the lineup. But Austin Wayne Self is a pretty decent truck driver at the Super.
He's the worst, dude. He is wrecking people nonstop. He is notorious for paybacks and getting into fights. And going back and forth and ruining races for people. He is one of the dirtiest. I think it was Gateway a couple years ago, where he went back out with the damaged truck and intentionally tried to do the iRacing on the driving. What a clown!
It was even better when the car is so destroyed and you go back out there to chase somebody down and you can't.
He's trying to time it, man. I've been that. You're looking in the mirror like, get out here, and they zoom right by, and then you look like a clown. Because everybody knows you were only out there trying to wreck somebody and you couldn't get it done.
Well, if you hate that, so the next person I was going to say is Dean Thompson. Starting 17th. No name guy. Nobody is playing this man. I have him in the line.
He was in a race last year for Nice, wasn't he?
I love Dean here. That's just in a sense of like one lineup. I'll happily have Dean.
That's going to be a no from me. All right, let's go back. So Zane Smith, yes. I could get on playing Zane Smith, although I'm not crazy about it. What truck number is he in now?
Pretty sure he's the 38.
So that is a front row, or that's that's Gilliland's old thing. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. Bob Jenkins. That's Front Row Motorsports. They launched that last season. That's a definite downgrade, though, from GMS equipment. Although that truck was kind of fast towards the end, but that was Todd Gilliland also in it.
Yeah, man,
I think they had a little bit more money. Zane Smith's not a bad driver, but I guess the speed doesn't really matter. At the Front Row Motorsports Ford, it'll be good enough. Brett Holmes, not for me.
I got him in a few lines, just because.
You're the original Brett Holmes truther.
Exactly.
It is a GMS truck, though. But again, it doesn't really matter. It's a plate race. He has no. He finished 15th at Talladega. If he survives the wrecks, that's cool. But hey, if Carson Hocevar survives the wrecks, you lose. If anyone starting behind him survives the wrecks, then they're a better play. And he has a lot of guys behind him. Same thing for Hocevar. I think he's got a better chance of surviving the wrecks and making it to the end. But he has the same issue as Holmes. He's got a lot of guys that can score more points than he can. Hocevar's a weird dude.
He's
They really should try to develop his personality and get him like more involved, but I don't know why they don't. He looks like he's a weird dude.
he's almost like another extreme of like Ross Chastain, but like growing up in like my generation and not having a farm to like. He doesn't have like the watermelon thing, so he's constantly trying to find. Oh, maybe I'm the hat guy. Maybe I'm the. Like,
he's trying to come up with a gimmick. He's like a wrestler. Like they're constantly like, all right, we tried to make you a dentist for a while. That didn't really take. So now we're just going to pretend that you're a part-time lawyer is your new gimmick. It's like, all right, wait, wasn't he the dentist? Nah, he's the lawyer. If I just keep saying it, you'll believe it. Like, all right. It's classic wrestling where they just hammer you over with a gimmick. And let's see. I like DiBenedetto, but he's probably going to get too much ownership, isn't he? There's too much heart involved in this pick.
You want to talk about pressure and people cracking under pressure. I feel like he just feels like he has to go out and lead every lap. And then he's going to cry tonight when he gets in the wreck.
That's the case at all. Well, I don't know. The pressure is going to set in next week, but I'm pretty sure he's going to realize, dude, it's a plate race. Let's hope that things work out. He's a follower of Jesus, and so maybe Jesus is going to do him a solid today and get in that first ever. Well, he got to win in the Xfinity Series once upon a time, didn't he? Ages ago for JGR.
But I feel like that's not the talk his team's going to have. I feel like they're going to bump him up, be like, listen, DiBenedetto, you're always up front in the Cup Series. These guys suck compared to them. Get up there and race. Just block like crazy, and then, he ends up upside down. You know what? That DiBenedetto is my favorite to be upside down tonight. That's right. That's right.
All right. Thanks. You're killing my pick here, man. Tanner Gray. It's fine.
Yeah.
The truck's going to be good enough if he survives the mayhem and the mat. He never has, though. But his finishes of 35th, 23rd, 34th, and 29th. Now, the counter argument is, well, he's due.
Well, he
which is
always
the worst plate racing argument ever. But
15 too.
The thing is, like, we look at these results and we don't have the context. And I'm sorry, I can't remember every plate race and every plate race wreck and like who made what mistake. That's just too much. So I don't know what exactly were the events surrounding all of Tanner Gray's wrecks, but TLDR, he wrecked.
He's bad.
Right. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
I think I have Desat in like 4 lines, but the guy's starting
the NYPD truck.
He's starting 25th. I wish he was starting just a few positions back. Because he's starting where he should finish, even in a wreck fest.
I'd rather have Boner.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Jason White.
Hey, Danny Bone. He's been upside down here at Daytona before in a modified on the back straightaway. We'll just carry that narrative.
These dirt trackers are great.
I could have swore he was a modified guy, like in the Wheeling Modified Tour.
I will have to go through my notes, but I'm pretty sure that going through my notes, I did discover last year before the dirt races that he did some dirt racing in North Carolina. I'm almost certain. I don't know if you remember all that stupid, crazy dirt racing research.
I know, and that's why,
looking at like these random websites that I didn't even know existed, trying to find data points for these clowns. But that's what you have to do for all these truck guys because they don't have any top series competition. You're looking at like these late model websites on GeoCities.
It just barely hit me today when I was watching qualifying. Just like, I can't believe John West-Halley is not here anymore. Like, he was in every single truck race, up until a few years ago, just for whatever reason. In qualifying, I just always remember seeing him qualify, and it was like, oh, it just hit me now.
Yeah, I forgot. Well, let's not go into that. There's a lot of bad memes. Shouldn't laugh. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, let's not talk about that. The son of the Zaxby's franchise. A lot of people don't know about Zaxby's. You got Zaxby's in Texas?
No, I only know it from it's like Menards. Like, I don't have Menards down here.
Yeah, Menards is where I live now. We have Menards, but Yeah, Zaxby Southeast. It's like kind of like Chick-fil-A, but I think a little more, a little different variety. People obviously like Chick-fil-A a lot better,
Mhm.
but Zaxby's had their spicy wings are very spicy. I would recommend them. If you like really, really hot chicken, Zaxby's has got it. Okay, no one cares. Haley Deegan. Yeah, I like Deegan.
I like Deegan too.
If she just avoids the wrecks, I mean, I know this is hard-hitting analysis here, but she can get a 10th place finish, and that is good enough, right? If the average finishing position of an optimal lineup is 10th or is 6th, 5th, 6th, then 10th will probably get it done. Let me see. What was the worst finish last year? Or so if I look at last year's Daytona, 12th was the lowest. If I look at Talladega from last year, the worst finish of an optimal was a 10th and an 11th. So if she can get right on the top 10, I think you're in pretty good shape. Ben Rhodes, yeah. Why not?
The issue comes from like you have Crafton or like you have Ben Rhodes, and you see his finishes, and I don't know if people look at the finishes the way you have them on your thing, but that's how I try and determine ownership. But you see a lot more top 15 finishes out of Ben Rhodes and even Crafton. And I just think they have to be the most played drivers, no? Like them and Clearman.
Well, let's try
I think
to.
they have the highest chance of like actually being optimal because I think Rhodes is a very strategic plate racer, and is not going to put himself in a bad situation. And Crafton's just going to be right behind Rhodes. Like I
Here's
think
the interesting thing with
Northport is the
Rhodes.
only team that is going to run together in this entire event.
So we see the red on the spreadsheet. We know, okay, that guy wrecked. We see the green, and it's easy to figure out, well, that guy, was right there at the end. One of the more peculiar things to look at on the spreadsheet is when you see a guy who finishes 15th and finishes 15th over and over and over because, he didn't wreck enough, and he definitely did wreck because otherwise he would have finished first. And you see this with Crafton, 15, 15, 19, 14. Like, what's he doing? Is he constantly wrecking? He's not wrecking enough.
So
That's
so
very
Crafton
strange.
Crafton nearly always gets involved in the wreck on the last lap because he's racing for the lead. So that's Crafton
That's true. Like,
basically.
but that's a great point. Like, we don't want him to do that. We don't want you to win. But obviously, Matt Crafton and Johnny Sauter, they're not here for our top 5. They're not here for our top 10. They're here to do stupid stuff. They're stepbrothers going into a job interview. So maybe, but Ben Rhodes, I think he wants to win, but he's not going to. I could see Rhodes saying, all right, looks like it's 3rd place today. Danny Bone will say top 10's great. Derek Krause will say top 10's great. Parker Kligerman is not going to tear up this car or truck for this team. Tate Fogelman, I don't know. What? Maybe you don't play Rhodes. Maybe you don't play Crafton. But the bigger takeaway would be playing all 3 is probably crazy. Right? Because all 3 can't win. And if Rhodes wins, then Crafton probably wrecked. If Sauter wins, then do you see a scenario where all 3 are like, oh, I'll take top 10s?
So I mean that's where.
So you just take the guys that are going to be happy to get in the top 10 and you leave a ton of money on the table.
It all depends on when the first wreck happens to determine the option. I truly believe
over and over.
What?
I think they're going to happen. It's not when, it's just going to be the intermittence of how often.
Well, no, but I look at it as the first crash determines the optimal lineup because wherever that happens, it's taking that chunk of the field out. So if it's up front, obviously, I think all 6 drivers from the back are going to be optimal. If they end up wrecking on lap 2 for 22nd and it takes out a lot of that late high 20s, low 30s chunk, then I think that's when like multiple people like Sauter, Crafton, Parker Kligerman, Rhodes, those guys have a higher chance of getting in there.
They're all in great spots, but let's just say it's the last lap. And who would you rather have on the last lap? And say they're both in the race, Matt Crafton or Derek Kraus?
I want Kraus because I think he's going to wreck Crafton for it.
Yeah, no, but
no, like seriously, like
all right. What about Tate Fogelman or if my guy survives to the end, which is a Herculean effort? If I get all 6 of my guys on the last lap, well, there's still one more lap, and I don't want any heroes. just take it easy. Ben Rhodes, take it easy or going for it. Probably going for it. Matt Crafton,
they're all going to go for it. They're all like even
they're
last
not all
night.
going for it. I don't think they're all going to go for it. I don't think Parker Kligerman is going to risk destroying that truck if he's in 6th place, right? Matt Crafton in 6th place is going to try to somehow, Frogger his way to the front, which is more likely going to result in him wadding his car or truck up. I mean, we're just playing the odds, really, right? I mean, that's all we're doing. We're doing random guess, like Haley Deegan. Although she did wreck a lot and did make some dumb moves. I don't know necessarily a lot of her moves were out of aggression. They were just inexperience. If she is in the top 10 at the end, she's going to try to take out. She wants to take Natalie Decker's record.
Yeah, like that's
the only female top 5 ever. Natalie Decker, isn't that right?
And, okay, so why didn't Haley get the Bush sponsorship? Because she didn't get that. She's not a part of that.
She's not in that?
No.
I just assumed that she was. Well, I'm not. Just give all the money to Joe Cobb. Give it to Jennifer.
Yeah.
She's not in the damn race. What's going on? It's sexism, I'm telling you, man. This misogyny just kept Jennifer Joe Cobb out of the race again.
Oh, yeah.
Patriarchy just will not give us a break. What are you going to do? All right.
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make. I fully believe that they are going to wreck on the last lap too, because even when they shouldn't, like last night, I'm sitting there and I'm like, just don't wreck. Logano, don't do anything stupid. Of course, Logano wrecks. I was unaware that there was only 9 cars on the lead lap. I was fully expecting Logano to just fall through the standings and like finish 17th.
I can't believe Kaz Gralla got in that first one. That was an all-time fail by JJ Yeley. What?
They didn't even show it. I don't know why they didn't show it. I don't know why Fox is looking at this stupid finish to where the battle to get into the 500 is literally JJ Yeley needing to block that pack carrying Gralla.
It's all just terrible anyway. That was just – those might have been the 2 worst duels in recent memory. They were just pitiful to watch. When you're seeing Kevin Harvick go a lap down, what are we doing? There should be a penalty for losing a lap.
Of the old style of Daytona racing, like that's
Ben Rhodes drinking beer thing all about anyway. Like, why is he always drinking a beer like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin? When did that become his thing? I'm gonna do another beer. It's dumb. Ben Rhodes. I don't like Ben Rhodes. I think I'm going to play no names in the back and fade away from Rhodes and Crafton and Sauter. And I'm going to leave a ton of money on the table. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I got everything. I won't say the highest amount that I have. It's over.
I mean, my line's going to look really ugly. I'm doing it. I'm going to go stupid. I need to a couple of minutes. Yeah. I'm going to leave a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, I just fully expect this race to just get dumb right off the bat.
Yeah, so are you playing all the big dogs back there, or are you like just building lineup?
I've mixed and matched. I have lineups with just nothing but no names, and then the studs, and then a combination of them. It's just trying to cover all the bases that I can without completely. How much I got in this race? I have $340 in this race. I'm pretty sure I've covered enough. That's what I'm comfortable doing.
Dang, going for it, huh?
I always do.
That's a lot of plate lineups.
Why do you think I was so mad when they end under rain? When I got 25 lineups there that are just dead because they haven't wrecked.
You don't have any advantage over a regular player. So why go heavy on these?
Well, look, I already had my budget, and then last night I hit.
You have a gambling problem.
This week's covered. I've already made a profit. I can lose this stuff.
That's not. Got to have an intervention in the next show.
I don't do this.
Next week is when you should, go in heavy. Next week is where you're gonna have people carrying over from Daytona who have no idea what's going on. They played for the first time, like, I'll play again. There's nothing else going on, and you'll have, years worth of analysis and information. That's where you attack. Nah, you're just gonna throw 340 at a truck race on a Friday night.
It's the plate races. I've been so successful here.
I'll tell you what it is. You had too many keystones. That's what happened.
Totally. Yeah, that's the issue.
That you will do it. I'm sure some of the people in the comments are like, yeah, I entered 5 lineups I didn't want to do because of the old keystones. It happens. It definitely happens. All right, let me throw together a lineup here. And yeah, I'll take that guy.
See, this is how easy it is to make lineups. You just take that guy, and
that guy's in the back.
I probably need to check.
Yeah, I know. It is easy to go through like 34 lineups. Next thing you're like, oh, I have to do another one. And then you realize, oh, I didn't cover that base. And then you throw in another one. And then it's gone. And then it's all gone. It's hard to see the screen. It's all a little too small for me. Did we answer all the questions? Are there any questions?
Because I'm going through my Patreon.
I'm on the 5th Miller Lite. Come on, man. Pick up the pace. Just 5? No, that's not bad. I'm just looking at the chat, seeing what the alcohol. It's Friday night, guys. Come on, live it up.
No, I can't drink anytime. Like I don't drink anytime I'm messing with this stuff. That's why I almost never drink, because the only days that I would have open is like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm not getting plastered on those days.
There's too much. As you've seen now, doing the data stuff and bouncing back between practice after practice, and then updating the sheet, and then getting ready for a live show, and then responding to. Look, if you were liquored up, it's nearly impossible. There's just no way. There's too many things that you're juggling back and forth. But in the chat, if you guys are just entering, go for it. 2 bottles of Apothic Red. What is that? Shotgun.
And then I'm like, see, I'm such an old man.
I think you got a question on DiBenedetto. Did someone give you money to talk about DiBenedetto?
Oh, yeah.
You better talk about him. I like it. I like DiBenedetto a lot. I know you think that he's got this pressure surrounding him. I think that DiBenedetto just doesn't give a you-know-what anymore, right? Like, what pressure is there? Like, I just wound up in the Truck Series. He's never going back.
He's already been canceled. So, like, what's the worst that can happen?
I did the Let's Go Brandon. He got canceled. Yeah. How is that now, having the name Brandon? Is that working out pretty well for you?
The worst comes from my own family. It's not even random people. It's always just, it's within the damn family that they keep saying it.
Jeez. No, I like DiBenedetto. I'm going to put him in this lineup. Thanks for reminding me. I'm rooting for the guy. Everybody likes DiBenedetto. What a story that would be, Just imagine if he wins this race and you didn't put him in a lineup. You wouldn't be able to sleep tonight unless you have 2 Apothic Reds, whatever those are. I'm sure those will knock you down pretty hard.
Let's see. We'll probably cut this off and give or take 5 minutes, leave you guys 15 to goof around with lineups and find any. There was a ton of overlay last night in both the dual races. There was a ton of overlay.
Was it?
Not going to happen. Ton of overlay.
It's not going to happen.
There's a lot of double ups that filled at 65%.
This left $5,600 on the table with that lineup, and I spent up on a couple guys. Yep.
I haven't left that much in any of my lines right now.
Let me see. Are the contests full yet?
What do we? Oh, the host. I love these. I love doing these videos with you, man. And thank you for the.
Yeah, I think the truck race filled, didn't it? Yeah, they had to open up a second one.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Hopefully, I got some clicks on the truck article. Probably not. Probably not.
Miller Lite number 7.
7. It's good.
I think the
Why
most
not?
I've ever had in one
The
sitting was
question
like,
is, are you going to make it through the race? Or are you going to pass out before the race is over? I may not pass out, but fall asleep. If there's a red flag, I don't think you're going to make it to the end.
oh yeah, no.
Now, will we get a
Caution
red
number
flag
3.
tonight?
Yeah, it's already over.
Are we getting? You say DiVinadetto's going to flip.
Oh hell
Will
yeah,
we get a red flag?
We're gonna get a red flag through a big one. I don't care. We're getting multiple red flags. You can.
Yeah, it's a truck series. If there was ever a
Yeah.
series that brings out red flags, it's these clowns.
Yeah.
When's the first caution?
I'm saying lap 4.
I was going to say 3.
Okay. It's like the Price is Right.
I just hope that I have one. The worst is when your lineups are toast early. God. Yeah. But I can deal with it in these plate races because then at that point it's like, all right, I hope they all wreck.
Right.
It's Elmo, GIF, the fire, bring it on. I'm sure people are going to be tweeting that thing out a lot tonight.
Oh yeah.
Wreck them all, destroy them all. I probably should play one with Boyd or with.
Let's see.
Ben Rhodes. I'm good one Rhodes. Try here. Oh yeah, it's a stack in the back night for sure.
See, this is my type of guy. Yeah, I just can't drink here. I just feel sad and lonely unless I sip on like because I like Gentleman Jack because there's like no taste to it. Like if I'm gonna sip on something, I'll drink that. But other than
I think K Diz, what he doesn't understand is he's probably an extrovert. I don't like being around people. I'm an introvert. If I could have my way, I would not be around human beings ever again. I like being by myself in all situations. And so if I don't like being around people, I definitely don't want to be around people who are sauced up. Yeah. They just annoy the living out of me. I don't know. But I get that. I understand like how people have those different views, but I can entertain myself all day, every day.
Well, I mean, look, we're both people who sit and just talk about racing all day and read a lot of history books.
Looking at the spreadsheet, so yeah.
We're not the talk of the town here. Maybe in this group,
it's not that. It's one part that I don't want to be around people. The other part is no one wants to be around me. It works both ways. Let's see. Who else do I want to throw in?
God hoping. Have you seen at the very end? I wanted to see who always listens at the end of my videos. At the very end of the 500 picks video, I was like, yeah, hopefully we'll have somebody clear the catch fence.
Just the last one I remember was so you had the Austin Dillon fence wreck. I went to that race, and then the very next week at Kentucky, was it Kennedy? Was Ben Kennedy winning the fence? That was crazy. That took forever. That delay. I miss Kentucky. I know it was terrible, but I don't know. Kind of wish they could go back there. I'm a crazy person. Man, that was. I can't believe they revamped that entire infield, and now they're not even going there anymore. They repaved it. They did the infield, and they don't even run anything. Do they have anything going on in Kentucky?
I'm sure they just got like hurricane cars in the infield there.
That sucks.
But, yeah. I hate seeing tracks die. I'd much rather just all tracks have one gate.
They'll be back. It's because it's Speedway motor. It's Bruton Smith, so he'll get back there eventually. But
that's why I'm worried about. And we'll probably end this in about a minute or so. But I'm worried about Texas Motor Speedway because I wish they would reconfigure it again. But I don't think they have the money to. But they
just would make it worse. They would just make it worse.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? I mean, look what they did to Atlanta.
Hey, but they put grass down. Everybody was like, "No, they're not going to put grass down." Brandon, I was like, "Listen, they're putting grass down. They don't believe in this."
You talked to your sod guy.
Yeah,
the guy on the inside sod guy.
Thank you, Harry.
People probably think we're joking.
I typically, unless it's like some outrageous thing saying I want somebody to flip, most of the things I bring up are things that I heard from people that I trust.
If someone ever dies, you're going to be held liable. You're gonna get subpoenaed.
I'm almost more terrified of what my reaction needs to be versus it actually happening at this point. Let's see. All right, you guys got about 15 minutes left before lock and everything, so we're gonna cut it there. Yet again, I'm really bad with the times. I don't know what time I'm going live tomorrow, but I will be here. Pierce will let you know in the morning if you can make it or not. But I mean, it's still stacked from the back. We're just here kind of shooting the breeze about drinking and stuff. But
Yeah.
thank you for watching,
You
guys.
just might as well just keep rolling through the night and stay up all night and just keep pounding them.
Yeah, or just start drinking now and continue to the 500 at this point.
I mean, if you were at Daytona, you would be.
Yeah.
Right? Like oh, no one would do it. Well, if you're actually in the infield, you just keep rolling. You may black out for a second or two and then get right back at it, I would imagine. I wouldn't.
Tomorrow's good. So real quick, I'm really interested in watching the ARCA series because I think that's going to be a joke event as well. I just love, God, I love opening week here, just of how bad these races are. This is my favorite week of the whole season. All right, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.